Chris Farfoy.
Mr. Speaker, as a young boy, I used to watch a show called Hogan's Heroes, and it's clear that the National Party today are using the Sergeant Schultz strategy, and that is, I see nothing. They're not talking about what everyone else has got on their minds, and that is ponytail gate. How many times have you heard today from the opposite side of the hall that they're proud of being in the John Key-led government? They seem to have not mentioned the John Key-led government today. I wonder why not. I wonder why not. And I want to take up the challenge of one of the national ministers, Amy Adams, and she talked about the robustness of the international media. Well, I want to read some of the headlines that have come out of the international media recently. This is the Washington Post. The headline reads, New Zealand's ponytail-pulling Prime Minister becomes national embarrassment. National embarrassment to not just that party, but unfortunately to all of us. And then another august international media, The Guardian out of the UK, who put a list together titled John Key, New Zealand Prime Minister's Weirdest Moments So Far. So far. He's still got 2 years to go. Mr. Speaker, I wasn't surprised to see the Herald Digipol results that the Prime Minister hasn't yet been affected by ponytail gate. But the National Party says this is not an issue that matters. But deep down in their hearts, they know it does, because their brand, their man has been damaged. And it's not some big gaping fish wound. It's not going to bring him down next week, but they know deep down inside it's going to hurt. I would call it more like a hairline fracture injury to the government, because they know it hurts, and when the pressure comes on, it's only going to get worse. It's like one of those injuries when you step out and you want to get out in the front foot and you go, oh, there's something wrong there. Something's not quite right, and you know it's not going to get better. That's the kind of injury that this has inflicted upon the National Party. And it's because, as I said, their brand is damaged. John Key used to be the millionaire, Mr. Millionaire. He also used to be Mr. Banker. He also used to be Mr. State House. But now he's Mr. Puller, Mr. Tugger, and Mr. Yanker, and Mr. Jerker. That is what our Prime Minister's brand has become. And deep down inside, in the National Party Strategy Office, up on the 9th floor and out on Peppertea Street, and Chris Bishop knows this too, he knows that the man's brand is damaged, and this is long-term damaging for them, because this hairline fracture is only going to get worse. And which one of them sitting on the other side is going to be the one that makes it worse? Is it going to be, no, it won't be the Whip, because he's keeping, would it be Alfred? No, I doubt it. But one of those guys over there is going to do something that makes this hairline fracture worse. Mr. Speaker, it's a political reality that this matters. Let's read what Tim Watkins said about this in his blog. He said, the repeated hair pulling, repeated not just once, I believe 8 times of the waitress, directly undermines the affable, goofy persona Key cultivates and gives it a creepy edge. Those who vote on likeability and trust, and there are many, have been given pause for thought, and they know that's why this is damaging. Their man, who is so liked, has all of a sudden created a massive amount of doubt in the New Zealand public. The guy who gets them through the John Key-led government has all of a sudden got a huge chink in its armour. But let's read what John Armstrong, the co-matua of the gallery, has to say about Mr. Key. The worry for Key and National isn't that this unseemly episode is of such magnitude as something that forces people to take a position could severely jolt perceptions of Key, especially among female voters who flocked to National after they became leader. That is the reality for this party. That is the reality for National. Their affable, every guy is now a complete joke in the eyes of the international media, and especially in the places like RSAs and rugby clubs and all the places that we like to go to have a beer. He's not the Mr. Nice Guy anymore. He is the butt of jokes. And when your brand starts going, you're in big trouble. And when your strength becomes your weakness in politics, you're in big trouble too. So somewhere, someone is doing damage control for the National Party. But as I said, it's a hairline fracture, and hairline fractures only get worse.